is a view, and you can click on the view and hit gallery and you'll see everybody page by page.
I don't know if I want to see everybody.
Stu.
Where do I view at the top? Gallery?
Socially
Oh, I'm on
unacceptable.
gallery. Yeah, but I mean, we've got about 200 people, 189 right now, and there's more people coming. And I have gallery checked, and I only see about 20. So anyway, where should we get started, Carrie? You want to start it off and
I'll be
I'll
happy
jump
to
in.
start. Super excited to see each and every one of you this morning. We adore you. And the only reason that we don't do this every single week is honestly taking a shower and not being able to putz around the kitchen and make our smoothies and do all the stuff we do. It's just, it's a kind of laziness, but it has been 13 years. So anyway, thank you for being here this morning. We are pretty excited about the enhanced compensation plan based on the fact that the world has really shifted a lot over the last several years. And I think you'll all agree that it's been really a drag to bring in a customer and get that full 40% or your new distributor on a pack and then go down to 2%. It is a big challenge. That was one of the issues, but when Steve Fife and his people hired a professional company to come in and take a look at our comp plan, there were lots and lots of actually little things. I mean, the guy was actually blown away, the Dan Jensen group, blown away at how good the compensation plan actually was. But it is a little bit past tense because the world has shifted, behaviors have shifted. We've got a lot of influencers that are out there, this company, we just love to collect customers because we are all so passionate about our products. And I would say going forward, I'm not going to say much more, Stu, but I would say that if there's one behavior that you can do over and over and over again, it's what Stu and I have screamed and yelled about from day one. It's get 5 customers. Just go out there and really bring in customers and share these products. Collagen is a very sticky product, meaning that it's a product that people don't want to get off of. They fall in love with the taste. They fall in love with the way it makes them feel and look. And people are really understanding that this is so much more today than hair, nails, and skin. So, the best thing you can do is find people that love the product and then find people who, gather the gatherers. If you could be a gatherer of customer gatherers, that really is the ticket. And that's something that you can make that change in your business almost immediately to help yourself become a wider, and I know, Stu, you'll talk about going wide and going deep. But anyway, back to you. We're excited, and it doesn't mean that everything's going to be perfect. And that's kind of why we're meeting, is we want you to know that if the transition probably isn't going to be perfect. I think Steve Fife is one of the most courageous people I've ever met to undertake this. And I'm proud of it. I'm grateful, because the last thing I'm going to say, and I hesitate to say this, but I'm going to, is that we were struggling people were not bringing in the same numbers of people that we were seeing. And some percentage of something is better than all of nothing. LifeVantage has been a strong company now for 14, 15 years. And with the same, not a lot of changes, we have really done it, but the world has shifted. And I really believe that Steve has been a very brave man, along with Cindy Latham, who is now our female board of director, Julie Boyster. We've got some new minds. Some of you will have met in Puerto Vallarta. And I'm just blown away at Rob, our technology guy, and a lot of other people. So anyway, I really think we're on a good track, and it could be a little bumpy, and it's okay. Let's be flexible and know that change is hard. So anyway, Stu's taking his collagen.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you, Stewie. Perfectly.
Okay, great. Sean, I made
I'm grateful that Stu is.
Yeah. Okay, Sean, you got it.
At the helm.
So, let's kind of jump into a couple things. I don't want to rehash the whole compensation plan. It is not that much different than the old one, other than we have a very strong front end. And what I'm talking about is that you can bring in somebody that just wants to sign up customers they're not really interested in actually building an organization. Maybe they may change in the future. I'm just saying that this is one component where somebody can come in and they can make quite a bit of money just by getting customers in. I'm going to probably pull up a PowerPoint just a little bit to kind of show you or give you an example of what's possible just by somebody gathering customers. You might want to grab a pencil and paper if you don't have one handy. The first thing I want to say is thanks to Sean Poe. He's here and I made him a co-host. He put together on his YouTube channel, and you can go to Sean and Michelle Poe, and you can look at the entire overview, each component of the marketing plan. You know, we still have, they call it, I mean, there's some, grammatical changes, like instead of having a unilevel, which was the back end of our plan, now it's called a level bonus. But there's only been some changes as to name. The structure, the way that it operates is basically the same. We still have a leadership pool for EC1s, 7s, and above. We still have a check match, although that is going to change just a tiny bit. It's going to pay out more as far as a percentage, but it's going to pay out a little bit different. So as you go up the marketing plan, you start out as a consultant, and for your first 90 days plus the month that you enroll, or a brand new person that you enroll, they can be on what's called a fast track, and that's just three customers and one distributor a month over the next 90 days. If they do it faster, like within their first 30 days, there's bonuses that can be achieved. And again, I don't want to go over everything because Sean's already done a great job of doing that. What I want to do is I want to answer some of your questions, and I want to give you some highlights. I'm not going to necessarily give you my opinion as to what I would do. I'm just going to give you the options of what you can do. Before I get into that, talking about signing up spouses, for example, I'm going to talk a little bit about BC2 and BC3 as an example. So I'm just going to kind of prepare you for where I'm going. I can tell you that I am very, very excited about the plan. I had something similar to this in another company, not quite the same, but very few companies, there's a few out there, don't pay for gathering customers. And this is going to be a big, big part of our compensation plan. And you're going to want to emphasize to your people as you bring them in that you really want them to do a 3-in-1, 3 customers a month and 1 distributor every month. And if you haven't seen the progression of what can happen financially, we can show you if we get to that point. So let's talk about husbands and wives first, spouses. If your wife or the husband is signed up, but not the spouse, this is the last, well, the 28th is going to be the last day that you will be able to sign up your spouse, either as a customer or as a consultant or distributor. Why would you want to do that? Well, because it's going to be grandfathered in that you won't be able to do it under the new marketing plan. There'll only be 1 consultant per household, other than your 18-year-old kids or whoever's living with you. We're talking about husband and wife. They're going to allow you to use the same credit card. So you can either make your spouse that's not already enrolled a customer or a consultant, okay? There's people that ask me, well, where should I put them? That's up to you as to placement, but March 1st, you will be unable to place a customer that you enroll unless you transfer the enrollment. So in other words, if you had a BC2 and you wanted to put a customer under BC2, you'd have to move the enrollment from BC1 to BC2 through compliance. Okay, but that's the only way you're going to be able to do that. You're not going to be able to place customers downline anymore. So let's talk about, the whole idea of how to build this. You want to go wide. I'm not going to be placing any distributors or consultants downline anymore. It kind of created an entitlement program where people expected it, and then nobody really helped those people in my life. They never really helped the people that I put under them. I didn't do a lot of it, thank goodness, but I did some of it. And so that's not something I'm going to do. You can do it, but that's not something I'm going to do in the future. It's up to you what you want to do when you enroll a consultant. you can put them under somebody if that's what you want to do. But the whole key is in this compensation plan with the changes, you want to go wide. So you go wide for wealth, WW, wide for wealth, and you go deep for stability. That's the way these programs work. And this one is especially that way. Okay. So husband and wife, we covered. I think I covered that. The only reason that you'd maybe want to sign up a spouse as a customer is that you're only allowed to spend up to $150 in personal purchases in September. So we've got a transition period that we're going through. They're not going to really enforce that, I don't think, until September. But know that you can only buy $150 worth of products on your own account. The rest has to be made up of customers, and there's going to be a $300 requirement per distributorship to be active. Okay, so it's going to go from 200, which it is now right now, to 300. So if you have customers that will offset that full 300, you don't have to spend any money at all. Right now, you've got to spend at least $40 and have the rest made up 160 by customers. In the future, when it moves to 300, you could have that entire amount taken care of by just having enrolled several customers, 3 or 4 or 5. I really like the healthy flow stack, but again, that's up to you and your upline and how you feel about either enrolling people or enrolling customers. Okay, so I think I hope we've slayed that dog, but if you do have a question, just write it down and we'll get that, in just a little while. We want to talk about taking distributors that you have in your organization that have really been glorified customers. They've just been buying product month after month after month. I'm going to say that decision is up to you. But here's what's going to happen. As you know, we have a 3-tier product price. The highest price is going to be for a retail customer that's not on subscription. It's going to be 20% higher than a distributor's price or a consultant's price. The next lower price is going to be a customer that's on subscription, and their price is going to be 10% higher than the consultant's price. So if you take a consultant now, they're going to get a bump from their current price up by 10% by becoming a customer. They will have the ability to be in the reward circle. And if they do it before the end of February, they can be in the inner circle. So they'll get bonuses and free product and stuff like that. I'm not convinced, and I'm not so sure that I'm going to move any distributor to become a customer. I mean, how hard is it to sign up a customer versus signing up a distributor that will do the business? Maybe eventually someday they will, maybe they won't. They're going to pay about $49 a year to be a consultant. So I hope you followed that. It's your decision on what you want to do, but I really don't want to move any of my consultants to become customers. Someday they may just decide that they want their product paid for, and they may just decide to engage a little bit and sign up some customers. Okay, I hope that's clear. And then let's see, I've got a couple other things here. March 1st, customers cannot be placed, transfer enrollers, BC2. Let's talk about BC2 and BC3 real quick. The company has come to the decision that if you have a BC2 or a BC3, they're going to be grandfathered in, so there's not going to be any more BC2s or BC3s in the future beginning March 1st. That would be why I may sign up my spouse as a consultant. Under the current policy and procedures, your spouse should be enrolled by your enroller. However, that's completely up to you on how you want to handle that. I don't know if the company is going to be monitoring that or not, but it's your decision. After March 1st, you won't be able to sign up your spouse as a consultant. You will be able to sign them up as a customer. So I hope that's clear for everybody. With BC2 and BC3, your required activity to be qualified is going to be and stay at $150 a month. And you could have customers in BC2 or BC3 that will completely offset that 150. Okay. So BC2s and BC3s are still going to exist for those people that have them currently, but they're going to be grandfathered in, none in the future. Let's see. You know, I think that's really about all I actually have that I'd want to make you aware of. Pam Gordon just sent me a text. Let's see what you said, Pam. I'll kind of check this real quick. I love you too, Sveta. Okay, Aaron's doing great. Let's see, 150,300 sales volume, is that dollars or product points? Sean, do you know if that's dollars or product points?
Points.
Points. Okay. So when we talk about 150 or 300, it's points.
And the whole 300 points can come from your customers.
Right.
BC1.
Right. And that's not going to be enforced. There's going to be a transition period, but just want to prepare you for that. What I'm recommending to everybody, and not selfishly, I'll explain why in a moment, but everybody should be gathering customers. Everybody should be getting customers. When you bring somebody in, you want them to focus on distributors and customers. I'll say consultants, okay? Because when you get to the level bonus, which is the unilevel currently, level bonus, it's going to be your consultant and their customers that you're going to be paid on. So if your consultants are doing $100 a month in volume, it's not going to be a very big check. If you can show them how they can make $1,200 to $1,300 or $1,500 a month or more by just gathering 3 customers a month over the course of a month, that's 36. And if they're doing the Healthy Glow Pack, it's about $140 PV a month. You're talking about $4,000 or $5,000, you know, that would be their volume, their customer base. They'll make 30% of that every month, which would be $1,500, and that would be the level bonus would be $5,000. Also, when you're an MC2, which is the equivalent of a Pro 5, you can override your group and get the leadership match, okay? However, you're only going to be matching MC1s, which are Pro 4s and above. So you want to help people get to Pro 4. Actually, I'd want everybody to get to Pro 5. That would be my goal, is to get everybody to Pro 5, and then they can override their MC1s and above. But everybody gets to Pro 5. That's 20,000 in volume a month. So if you have, you know, some people that are gathering customers, you only need 5 people that are doing 4,000 a month, and you're a Pro 5. And I kind of have a spreadsheet on how to accomplish that. But again, it's all about staying consistent, bringing in 3 customers or more a month. Some people will do 3 a week. Some people will do 3 a day, but you know, 3 a month, 3 customers and 1 distributor. Okay. I've got a couple more people that have been asking questions here. So let's see. Questions from clarification.
I have a question that I can read and answer, Stu, real quick.
Yep.
You want me to, Jennifer Bishop wants to know, can you sell your BCs still? And if so, do they have the same regulations? You cannot sell your BCs anymore. BC 2 and 3 are part of BC 1. And according to them, it's really never been, I think there have been 6 exceptions in the history of the company. And they are, BC 2 and 3 are a part of BC 1. And that's very firm. Stu, if spouse is already a consultant, they had to sign up under the original enroller, not you. Can you sell a spouse's consultant position? And if so, how long before they could sign up again as a customer? 6 months or a year? I would imagine.
I would say that you could sell a husband's position with approval. And how long before they could sign up again? I would say it's probably going to be a year, but I don't know. That's what I would think. Sean?
If you
What do
sell
you
the
think?
business, why couldn't they just sign up immediately as a customer?
If you wanted to sell Michelle's position to somebody, would you be able to do that? And if you did that, could Michelle sign up? And if she could, when? How long?
You definitely can sell it. I'm not sure the policy and procedure right now on how long it would be delayed, but I don't think systemically there's anything that would stop you from signing them up as a customer immediately. But again, I'm not sure what it reads specific to that scenario on policy and procedure.
Yeah, and I think if you were to sign up as a consultant, there would probably be some kind of waiting period there, I would assume. But again, I don't have the new policy and procedures completely. So I don't know the answer to that.
Hey, Sean, can you put BC2 in your husband's name, and would there be any benefit to doing that?
They're not going to allow that transfer of title on that because they are attaching it to BC1. And there really wouldn't be any outside benefit
I
to
don't
doing
think
that. It would pay the same way.
Yep. Anybody else have any questions? You can raise your hand, and maybe Marcy or
You've got two hands raised
Okay.
virtually.
Jackie
ahead.
Shore and Barbara Dertina have questions.
Okay. Fire away.
We'll take Barbara first.
So when you said that we can only do the 150, you said you can only purchase 150, but do you mean that we're gonna want more products to use more of our products, or is it just 150 will count and any other purchase you make won't count?
Yeah, you
Right.
got it. That's right. You
Okay,
can-
I
you
just
can-
wanted
you
to
can- you
clarify
can
that
spend-
because,
Yeah, you
yeah.
can spend 1,000, but they're only going to count 150.
okay,
But here's the thing, if you do have a spouse and you signed up the spouse as a customer,
mhm,
you could put all that extra volume under the spouse, alleviate you having to buy products personally, because you're not going to be commissioned on that, but you would be commissioned on your spouses, and your spouse will count in that bucket that goes from 5% to 20% on a recurring monthly basis for all your customers. Do you follow that?
right. Oh, absolutely. Thank you
Okay,
so
good.
much.
All righty, you bet.
Okay, Jackie Shore.
Yeah, so I'm trying to
Back to
figure
Jackie.
out.
Hey, Jackie.
Hi.
Jackie and I were carrying on all night last night. Aaron was getting jealous.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Erin. I just wanted to just double check and make sure I understand. So BC2 is getting absorbed by BC1. So does that then change? Because like my BC2 has like 3250, but then my BC1 said 31. So does that combine the two?
No, it's a separate entity. yeah.
Okay.
When they
I'm-
say combined, it's not, when they say combined with BC1, Jackie, it's not literal. It's just figuratively. It's going to be part of BC1, so you can't separate it. That's all. But it will still be there, and you'll still override that.
So is that then going to still be considered its own leg, as like its own distributor
Yes,
kind of thing?
Yes.
So then is there an advantage? So then going forward, would I be smart in one sense or another to actually sign people up under that BC2 so that I get that BC2 also higher in addition to my BC1, or just focus on the BC1?
Well, no, I think BC2 would be the place you'd want to put everything in BC. And you guys that have BC3, I'd want to put everything in BC3, because look at, you're going to get a check for BC3. You're going to get a check on BC2 that overrides BC3. And you're going to get a check for BC1 that overrides both BC2 and BC3. That's not a bad deal. You're getting paid 3 times on the same volume, right? Do you follow that?
Right. Okay. So right now, the way my stuff is set up, my enroller is my BC1 and they were placed under BC2. So when I went into my BC2 to see what my month-end volume or what my personal volume was, it had like 600 plus and it wrote 0. So I was a little bit confused, because I guess then my BC2 hasn't been enrolling people. It's my BC1 placing under BC2. So that means I have to enroll under BC2 for that to count as volume in that leg.
No, you could still enroll people on BC1 and place them, not customers, and place them under BC2. BC2 will get the level bonus and you'll get the enroller match, because you will be the enroller.
Stu, nobody should be enrolling in BC2 or 3 because you're going to miss the upfront money.
Yeah, and BC2 does not get a check match.
Stu, I'm sorry. I think just when I was speaking with Jeff, he said that it is possible for the business centers they're going to work with us. So if you want to, for the purpose of qualification,
Yes.
because you still have to qualify, you could enroll in BC1 and then you could put in a form through the compliance department to change some of those customers to BC2 as the enroller. And that way
Yeah,
you can be qualified in that position because you
That's
don't get
correct.
paid out unless you're qualified.
that's correct, Marcy. And I did mention that if you,
Bonus.
and I did mention that you can't place a customer, but you can change the enroller. So if you are in the enroller as BC1, you go through compliance, you fill out a form and you move that customer to BC2, but it has to be the enroller portion. Everybody follow that?
And Stewie, they would not want to do it in week 1 because that's when you won't get paid out, right?
Right, exactly. You'll want to wait till you
wanna
get your
wait.
fast start bonus.
And are they going to allow that after March 1?
Yes,
Okay.
Sean, right? You can have BC2 enroll, take the enroller for a customer.
So how corporate has explained it to me, because our business centers do have that ability, but their claim is that not all business centers have a replicated site to enroll with. I don't know the difference on that, why some would and some wouldn't, but everyone I've seen does have the ability to directly enroll into a business center. But again, you would not want to do that at all in February because you will lose the fast start bonus.
Right,
So don't do it right now.
yeah.
But come
Anybody-
March, that's a
We
possibility.
have,
In March, it won't make any big difference because the fast start bonus is going to be gone.
Right.
we have 3 more people with their hands up. Beth Janikowicz
Okay.
is next.
Okay,
Hey, Stu, I've never seen you in person. It's really nice to put a face with a name.
who are you?
Um,
Where are you? I don't see you.
I'm here, I'm here, I'm
This is
here.
Beth Janikowicz.
Okay, all right.
So I was under the impression that you can't, as a consultant, personally enroll a spouse. So I just want to make sure that that's legally okay to personally enroll my spouse.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna just say that according to the current policy and procedures, it says that your enroller is supposed to enroll your spouse. But I will tell you that there are many, many, many cases where people did not do that and the company didn't do anything about it. So I will leave that decision up to you. The worst thing that could happen is the company says, you can't do that. Your enroller has to enroll that spouse.
You mean
Okay.
as a
I don't
consultant?
think, I
As a
can't guarantee it, but I don't
consultant,
think they'd unwind it.
No.
Yes, Marcy, if that was your question, as a consultant.
Yes,
Okay. And could you if I enrolled him as a consultant and I have people in my holding tank, can I put them under him, place them under him?
certainly.
Okay, thanks, Stu.
Yep.
Is- Real quick, if a consultant orders less than 150 sales volume every month and has no personal customers, can they pay the 49 and remain a consultant? Absolutely, right?
Yeah, sure they can. They just won't be paid.
Yeah,
You've
you-
got to have $300 in volume. I think after it goes consultant at 150, then I think it goes consultant 1 is like 200, consultant 3 is like 200 or 250. And then it pops up to 300. And then you've got to have $300 in personal volume or customer volume to be qualified to get a check.
Well, I think what she was asking is they're not just going to automatically re-qualify you and dump you down to customer just because you're not qualified. If you
I
don't
don't
pay your
think so.
49 bucks, you will not be qualified.
No, I don't think that will happen. And
Reclass.
if it did happen, I think you'd be notified and then you could just be active and they'd put you back again.
Okay, Mia's next.
Okay, I don't know if you can answer this. So of course, my enroller, my sister enrolled Don, and then we placed him in my BC2. And Don has enrolled, we've also placed distributors that I have enrolled and customers that I have enrolled in under him. I
Wow.
don't know what the best strategy is to do now with this new plan. Because
so-
obviously I have this BC2, but my sister's the enroller for him.
It's so funny. Well, it's not funny.
Not haha.
It's interesting how people did so many interesting moves. You know that I just enrolled Carla as a customer. She has never been a consultant in all the time that we've been in. I felt that it was hard enough to build one organization rather than 2 or 3 or 4. And maybe that was just my negativity, but I was never able to do that. Sean, I think, is maybe the only guy in the company that I'm aware of that has built his BC2 to Pro 8. I don't think anybody in the company has done that other than Sean. So way to go, Sean. You're an
It's
animal.
really,
You-
really
you
hard.
show. Yeah, but that really takes a lot of work. And I mean, he's helped his parents, and I mean, they are recruiting, rootin' tootin' recruiting machines is what I would say, but not everybody's going to be that. So I don't know. Sean, you have any idea what Mia might want to do with her husband? I just leave it the way it is.
I would just say this in general, whether we're talking about business center, spouse positions, or your primary position, the biggest thing is just balance. And we were in a 40-40-20 position to get to the top of the company. So I always used 40% as a guideline. If one leg is bigger than 40%, new volume shouldn't be going there. Put it somewhere else to offset. Now with the change, the enhancements, 45-45-10 can get you to presidential consultant. So that's the number I would use now to say, are any of my legs above 45% of my total volume? And if yes, no volume goes there. If the answer is no, potentially you could place volume there if that's the strategy you want to use.
Hey, Sean.
And in addition to that, where do you want to really apply all your effort? It wouldn't be to a leg that's like 70 or 80% of your volume. You're going to want to apply all the pressure to either a new leg or outside volume to be able to balance that. So just kind of keep that in mind, but that's excellent. The advice that Sean just gave you.
And Stu and Sean, I don't know if you guys agree with this, but I've always said high and tight. Keep everything high and
Yeah.
tight. Never before is it going to be more important to have your people nice and close to you. So placing stuff in depth has never made sense to me. I never ever signed up a spouse. I really focused on BC1, and I'm going to tell you, it's of big benefit that I kept everything high and tight, bring people tight to you. Minimums, I've never been a believer in minimums because we don't know. I mean, who knew? We're 13 years down the road. Keep things high and tight and close to you.
So the best strategy would have
Can we
been
still have
possible.
4 people with their hand raised? Do you want to?
Okay, hang on 1 second, just to say that, emphasize what Carrie said, and it's really, really important to
Coming
think
up.
about this. And that is that, you know, a lot of people tried to game the system by taking customers and putting them on level 3 to get the 9%. And now those people are going to really be burned because your biggest payout is now on your first level. So it was like short-term gain. It didn't really, and I tried to tell people, don't move that volume down, because what are your people going to do? They're going to follow what you do. So they're going to put them on they're going to put their customers on their 3rd level. So now you're 6 levels deep. Those people are going to put level, you know, and it's going to keep pushing volume further and further away from you. And that's going to be important now because our old unilevel had something called dynamic compression. The new one really doesn't. Yes, other questions?
Becky's next.
Good morning, everyone. Stu, you said something earlier, and I just wanted to re-clarify because this is answering all the questions that everybody has in my downline too. So I think we're all benefiting. Thank you for this. So one more time, just to clarify for our BC2s and BC3s, being they're part of our system, do they have to qualify the exact same way, the 150 and 300, or because you said something about 150 and then you didn't go to the 300 on the BC2, BC3. So do they have to qualify the exact same way as our main business center, as our primary?
No.
So please re-clarify that for us.
Yeah, insofar as rank advancement, yes. But insofar as being active, you're only required to do 150. And I think the reason for that, Becky, is that because the company is not going to let us place customers, and they want to be in line with regulatory, you know, all the regulatory environment that's going on. They don't want you to pay a whole bunch of money to try to buy your way in. So the cap is 150 on your level 1, you know, as your business center one, and they're going to leave that the same with BC2 and BC3. But eventually BC1 is going to have to go to 300, but BC2 and BC3 will not. There'd be 150
Okay.
cap, and it can be offset by customers.
Okay, part
And
B, yeah. So
it's
part B
simple.
of that would be, part B of that question would be at that point, should we get in now because I'm one that has ample customers? Should I get in and transfer a couple? Because I know I can do all the I can cause them to be the enroller. So I can change the enroller to my BC2 on a couple customers to make up that whole 150. And should that be done as early as possible in March or do that now before March?
Well, they aren't going to let you do it in March. And from what I
Okay.
understand, they aren't allowing anybody to do it now because they would just be totally overwhelmed. The only
Oh.
thing you can actually do right now is if you, before like the 28th, if you have a distributor that wants to become a customer, which again, I would not encourage, but if you do, you've got to do that before midnight the 28th, or it's not going to happen.
But so they will not let us at this point do any more my personal customer and turning them into enrolled as my BC2.
Yeah, so what you
3.
can do, and I don't know if you'd get an answer, Becky, is you could just write to compliance@lifevantage.com or support and say, I've got some customers I want to move to BC2 or 3 before the end of the month. Can I do that? I don't think they're allowing anybody to do anything right now.
Okay.
John, do you
I'll
know any
find out.
different than that, or is that the way it is?
Yeah, I would just either reach out to compliance, or if you have access to VIP or leadership line, you can ask the question. It's not going to hurt to ask, but they are going to be overwhelmed with last minute requests to get stuff done. I do know that.
Yeah. Sean, how about you, Sean?
Shayna is next.
Okay.
Shayna's next and then
Hey,
Sean.
sorry, I hopped on late. Quick question. After March 1st, if we have people in the holding tank, can we still put them to BC2 or even BC1?
No.
Even
These-
if they're in the tank? Wow, okay.
Yeah, if they're in the tank, they're going to have to, there probably is not going to be any tank, and they'll just be assigned to BC1. But you could do it now for sure.
Okay, and I have a second part to the question. I hopped on a little late, so I hope you didn't already address this, but my BC2 is brand new this month. So, and I'm a little confused on people I'm gonna register today and tomorrow, if I should just enroll them under BC2, because I know after the 1st, we can't place customers there.
You'll
But
miss.
then will my BC1 suffer and have less volume? So it's kind of,
Yeah. Well, I would probably I'd probably take inventory of BC1 and find out how you're balanced. And don't forget the BC2 will be another leg. It'll just be another leg. And so if you already have a lot of, volume and you have some pretty good balance, I'd probably just keep BC2 there and just wait and watch rather than starting to plow people in there. That would be what I would do.
thank you.
Shayna, if you did that right now, you would miss the 40% commission. If you signed somebody up today and enrolled them in BC2 or 3, use that as the enroller, then you would miss the 40%.
She can still place.
Yes.
So it might be wiser to enroll in BC1 and place in 2 before the end of the month.
Wait till you get the fast start bonus. So if it occurs after March 1st, they're going to have a delay with all the payments, the fast start payments. It probably won't be till like the 4th or 5th. By the way, all our sites will be down for anywhere from 24 to 48 hours beginning on the 1st, midnight, the 28th, because it's almost like they said they are starting a whole new company. Now they aren't literally, but our whole compensation plan is changing. Your whole back office will change. Your whole referral site will completely change. There'll be tools that you'll have to be able to determine where you're going to, place people, or what people you want to help and where to go. So there's going to be a lot more reporting and things available to us. So just keep in mind that we're probably not going to be able to sign anybody up for, 24 to 48 hours beginning February 28th at midnight.
And just to clarify, Stu, on the enrollments, anything that's in your holding tank, if you place out of the holding tank, it is not going to affect the fast start payout.
Right.
So you can move that today or tomorrow out of the holding tank where you want it. But if it is a customer and you don't do it today or tomorrow, it does go away March 1st or whenever we do have access again to the system. So you can make the placement changes. Don't change the enroller though, because then the fast start won't pay out.
Correct. Okay, Dr. Sean McKee is next.
Hello,
Hello.
from Bora Bora, I should say.
Oh, nice. Lucky. Wow, you had to throw that in
Totally.
there, didn't you?
Potally. Okay, so my question is, Stu mentioned that, that the requirements for BC2 are just to stay qualified at 150, and that can be all customers, which we would have had to change the enroller before the 28th. Got that. But then you said the 300 is for rank advancement. Well, if you're BC2 or BC3, you would like them to be paid as senior consultant or, you know, MC2 or whatever. They do require that rank advancement requires 300. Are you saying that is only 150 total for the BCs?
Yep, that's an exception.
150.
Only be
Okay.
150 for the life of BC2 and BC3. They're not going to make it 300.
That's phenomenal. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Mhm.
Deb Crowell
Sure.
has a question, Stu.
Yep.
Debbie. You might
Hi.
be-
I understand that you have to enroll a customer to have it count as your customer volume. But what happens, I have about 2,000 between me and a level or two down where that distributor is no longer with us. So I'm the first consultant. Is that going to roll up the customer volume? Will that roll up to me?
No,
Even though I
from
didn't enroll that person?
Sean, from what I understand, there will be no roll-ups of any customers. They'll stay in place wherever they are.
Thank you.
Yep. Anybody else?
Yes, do we have Liz next with her hand
Okay.
up? And we have Carrie and then Cindy, and I think that's probably the end of the call. But Liz?
Thanks, Marcy. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, everybody. So I'm fairly new, so I'm still learning kind of all this
I'm
stuff.
sorry. I'm
We're
sorry.
sorry how frustrating this is.
Well, you have to come into this. Woo. Oh, it's good. It's good. Okay, fire
So
away.
I just barely enrolled my husband last night as a customer. So if you've answered this question, I'm sorry that I'm repeating it, but I just want to should I just leave him as a customer or should I have him upgrade to a consultant? I don't think he has any interest in doing a consultant at this time, but I don't know, maybe later on he will, but I don't know. Should I just leave him as is? Or
That's
I would
really,
leave-
that's really a very personal decision. If you feel like you can recruit enough to be able to build a group under him, I'd probably make him a consultant. Otherwise, I'd just leave him as a customer, but that would be only my opinion. You could also make him a consultant, upgrade him, and just have him be there in the future in case you wanted to build a second position. So it just,
I would say that it's really hard to build one strong, solid business. And if you're not, bringing in many people every single month, it's very difficult. And it might be really lovely to have that customer volume towards your qualification every month.
okay. Alrighty, thank you guys.
You made a good
Sure.
decision.
sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is it my turn?
Who's next, Marcy? Yeah, go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
Carrie?
So
next.
question, if starting in March, we enroll through BC1, can we still place in BC2? I'm sorry if
Yes,
this was
I mean,
said
are
already.
you talking customer or are you talking?
Customer.
No, you have to transfer the enroller. So the enroller would become BC2 if you want to move that customer.
Okay.
Before, we didn't have to do that. You could just place the customer anywhere you wanted to. But now you do have to move the enroller to BC2.
So just to cover that 150, we could do that.
Yeah, if you wanted to, sure.
Do I
Okay,
think
maybe.
you just said after March 1, you're not going to be able to move the enroller?
For
That's-
customers,
Yes.
that's the only way you can do it.
No, that's,
For
they are
BC,
gonna
for
let us.
BC2 and BC3 only.
Sean,
Yeah,
they're
by
allowing
the
us to
enroller.
do that after March 1, allowing us to move the enroller.
Yes,
March
it's through compliance. It's
Okay.
paperwork.
Okay, thank you.
Did that get answered? I mean, was
yep.
I accurate on that?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I
Yes,
misunderstood
that's
something
Cindy.
Jason said.
Yeah, because we've heard a lot of different things throughout the last 3 months, but I think everything's been kind of pretty much finalized to this point.
Okay, I thought
We've got-
Jason said we could enroll in BC1 and then place still in BC2 going forward, but maybe I misunderstood.
Yeah,
Only
but you
for
have to
consultants.
move the enroller to BC2 from what I understand.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Cindy's next.
Hey guys, thanks. This is really simple, I think, but I've been hearing two different things. When you enroll a consultant and you're in the fast track period, my understanding is you can enroll for them in order to get their $50 bonus. They can enroll 3 customers throughout that whole 3 months, right? Just 3 customers, or do they have to enroll 3 in their very first month? My understanding is if they do in the first 3 months, then they get that extra
That's
bonus.
exactly right.
Is that
Yeah,
correct?
that's-
Because I was
yes.
reading anyway, I think it was something put out originally where it says they have to do it in their first month.
90 days. No, 90 days. That's an accelerator bonus if they do it within the first 30 days.
Great.
What
What I thought.
what we're telling everybody, which is not in alignment with the fast track, is, you know, what the way I'm going to bring in people and I'm going to talk to them is bring in 3 customers and 1 consultant a month. To get the fast track bonus, it's 3 customers and 1 distributor in 90 days.
Correct. Understood.
But
Thank you.
don't forget, they could sign up 9 customers, 12 customers, 15. I mean, they
Right.
could get multiple bonuses during that 90 days.
No limit.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, Miguel.
Hi,
Miguel,
it's actually, yes, sorry.
not Miguel, but it's someone on
Hi.
Miguel's Zoom.
This is Lillian. Sorry, my call got dropped off and you might have touched this. I'm confused as of the minimums. I heard Stewie say you could only order 150, but that's what counts, right? You can order more, like you can order as many product as you want.
Yes.
It's just that only 150 will count towards the
Qualification.
for qualification. Okay,
Right.
perfect.
So if you do have extra, if you do want to buy extra, and this is what Jackie Shore and I were talking about last night, because she wants to sign up her husband as a customer because she orders about $1,000 a month. And she has $3,000 in customer volume already in BC1 and BC2. So the question was, where do I sign up my husband, Howard? And the answer is you could sign him up in BC2 or BC1, but you want to get to $4,000 or more because it unlocks that 20%. And that's going to be every month that those customers order. So it's not just a one-time pay. So you can get up to 30% a month on your customers. Well, if you have $4,000 in customers, that's $1,200 a month. It's $14,400 a year. If you wanted to get a return on $14,400 a year, you'd probably have to have at least $500,000 in the bank, getting interest at least 3%, which would be $15,000 a year. So you built a $500,000, business just by doing that. That's a lot of money on the front end of our plan. So if you've got a doctor, a chiropractor, a social influencer, or just somebody that's in social media, a beauty salon, I mean, they can get to $20,000 or $30,000 or $40,000 in customers a month, which would be like 50 grand a year. I mean, it's, 30% of 40,000 is $12,000 a month, $144,000 a year. So this is really, really a big deal that people have to understand and realize in order to really maximize the plan.
Hey, Stu?
Yeah.
I wanted to, I've only been in a few places teaching, and there's one line that I used a lot in the beginning until I found out we didn't really have the marketing plan for it. But if I could show you how to increase your bottom line,
Yeah.
I don't care if you're getting your hair done. I don't care if you're getting your nails done, getting a massage, whatever you're out there getting done, anybody in the service profession is trying to figure out how to make more money on each client. And if you can make more money on each client and help them at the same time as we can with the liquid collagen and Nerve2, I would talk to people. If I can show you how to increase your bottom line, is it something I could talk to you about? Well, tell me what you got. Let me come back and talk to you at a time when you have 20, 30 minutes, and don't take more than 20 or 30 minutes, but we want to be gatherers of gatherers. And if that person can do it, then that's the umbrella. Who do they know that might want to increase their bottom line? So I'm really, really encouraging people to get a lot of customer volume and teach people to do the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable the kind of money that can be made here.
I mean,
we
I'm
have-
gonna
we
walk
have,
into places here.
Yep,
I'm gonna
go ahead.
walk in.
3 minutes. We got one last person, Allison, who has had her hand up for a while.
Okay.
Hi, Allison.
Hi, Allison.
Gather
Hello.
of gathers.
So I'm getting confused when you said like the BC2 and moving people, it has to be the enroller. To me, I've been the enroller for BC1 and BC2. It's like I personally enroll them in BC1 and then move them to BC2. So I am the enroller. So does that mean if I move them too quickly that I lose out on the 40% commission?
No, there won't be any more 40%, Allison, after March 1st. It's going to be the fast track. And by moving them, what I'm saying is that you will still be the enroller, but they'll be enrolled by BC2. So my understanding is if you want to place a customer, you've got to replace the enroller. So the enroller would become BC2.
Okay.
But if you've been doing it all along, Allison, like signing them up on Tuesday and moving them Tuesday night, then you may have been missing the 40%. I mean, I don't want to freak you out, but it was important that it get paid out before you made the move. So hopefully you're aware or you've been noticing.
I don't know. I just knew that. I didn't know that.
She
I
didn't
just,
change her enroller. She was only changing placement, right?
yeah.
Placement
You're
went
just
to
changing
effective
placement,
payout.
you did.
Yeah.
So
pla-
that didn't cheat. I didn't cheat myself by
No.
doing placement. Okay.
I just did placement, no.
Okay, good. Okay, that was I was like, I might have been doing it wrong all this time. Okay, good.
I've got an FAB meeting, Stu, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
jump off, but
Yeah, I
so
think,
much. That was
are we
great
about wrapped up?
Yep, we're wrapped up.
Okay.
next week's gonna be a remarkable call.
Yep, for sure.
We don't know what it's gonna be yet, but it's
Thank you.
Okay, you
Stu,
bet.
I carried
Somebody has their hand up here, Marcy. Let's take one more.
Okay, that's Debbie.
Okay,
St.
Debbie, I don't
Marie.
want anybody to go.
Debbie St.
without-
Marie.
Okay, Debbie.
muted.
Debbie,
Yep, unmute yourself.
Debbie, ask her to unmute. I just did that so she can get unmuted.
Oh, can't hear you yet.
I'm asking her to unmute.
Mute. Okay, there we go.
There you go.
There she
Okay,
Oh, sorry about that.
that's okay.
Yeah, back to this, the 150 of personal purchases is the max that we can have now. And of course, we're always encouraged to be a product of the product. And I'm one of those 600 to 1,000 a month kind of people.
Mhm.
What is the strategy? So all that is falling now just away. Where does I just lose $750 or something, or 750
Okay,
points
well,
a
let
month?
me just ask you a couple questions real quick. Do you have a BC2?
I do. My husband is there,
Okay, so you could buy under BC2 if you wanted to.
but he's enrolled under my sponsor because he's not enrolled under me.
Okay,
Because
that's
at the
still okay.
time-
That's still, yeah, that's still okay because you want to get the volume, you want to buy the volume and get it counted for, right? So what I'm telling people is that the company is trying to get in alignment with the regulatory environment. So a lot of these decisions are based on that. And they don't want people buying their volume. And that's why there's a cap on it. So you can have customers, I mean, look at, if you had to, and you really wanted to, sign up a friend, sign up a child, sign up somebody in your BC1. And even though they're not going to really actively participate, you could use a different credit card and have it sent to your home or whatever. I mean, there's ways to do that where you at least benefit from that extra volume that you're going to
Yeah.
generate. That's why the company allows you to sign up your spouse, is because there's no limit on how much a customer can buy. There's no limit on what a consultant can buy, but they'll only count 150 towards your qualification.
Right. So between my husband and I, we can get credit for 300. And then the rest, I need to set up some kind of a account.
Mm-hmm.
Custom-
Well, let me tell you what I'm going to do, and what you do is,
Okay.
but
Thank
what
you.
I'm going to do is I'm going to buy all my volume under my wife. So if I buy $1,000 worth of volume under my wife, it's going to count towards my personal sales volume for the 5 to 20%. And I'm also going to get 10% of her cost. So a customer pays 10% more, but I'm also going to get that 10% back because it's my wife.
Mhm.
So it's going to be a zero, cost for us, having her put
Yeah.
all the volume under her, yet I'm going to get paid on it.
You'll get a commission.
5 to 20%. Exactly. But that's
But
what I
she,
plan to
is
do.
she a customer of yours or is she a BC?
She is a brand new customer of mine.
So that's
just signed
different.
her
A
up.
BC, I can't do that. A BC is limited to 150 per person and he's already a BC.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
there might be something you can do. I
Yeah.
don't know if you can do it now because of the
Okay.
timing.
Do
But
you- do you
that would
think
be a
that in the-
situation where you might want to downgrade them to a customer.
Do you think in the future that that we might raise that cap somewhat? Because that's barely a bottle of, that's a Tri-Synergizer. I
Yeah,
mean,
you can
what about
see-
all the rest of our products?
Yeah, I have no idea what the strategy is in the
Okay.
future, but as you can see, the company, if you look at the whole plan now, the whole basis of what the company is pushing is customers.
Yes, I love that.
It's really funny to me because there were when Carrie and I came into the business, we were always preaching customers. We loved the products and we
Yeah.
thought that's what creates a real stable company, right? And there were elites at the time, I'm not going to mention any names, that said you could be selling dog poop or lipstick and still make it work. And now they're all changing their tune and saying, get customers, our products are incredible. There's no products like this in the whole industry that has peer-reviewed studies and the kind of medical and the efficacy of pictures that we have. I mean, we've really got something really, really special here. So, they just don't want to have a regulatory environment, and they're pushing us to get customers, which is great. That's what we should be doing. One more?
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead. Joel Urban, you want to unmute yourself?
Yes, thank you.
Sure.
So you indicated that other than your 150, you're going to put all your volume underneath your wife. So in my case, I've got my wife and I got my 3 sons all in a line. How far down should I only go to the first one down, or can I take it all the way to the bottom and place
Okay.
all my volume under there?
Okay, so what I said, Joel, is that in my BC1, I'm going to put all my volume, personal volume, under my wife. I'm not going to be active at 150 or 300. Because I'm not going to get paid on that. So I want to be paid on that 5 to 20%. And by putting it all under my wife, it's going to be in that bucket. You follow that? So I'm not going to buy any product myself.
Right.
I'm going to put it under my wife and my customer, my wife. For you, is your lineage all customers or are they distributors?
All of them are distributors.
Well, that's not going to
So-
help you then, right? Because you have to have 300 in volume, and of that, 150 has to come from customers, or all 300 of it can, and you don't have to buy anything. But if they're
Okay.
consultants, it's not going to count as your personal volume.
Got it. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure, you bet. Okay. Everybody good? Okay, I'm gonna record this and then well, it has been recorded. I'm gonna get it, set up so that I can put it on my YouTube channel because I can't just send it out like this.